Breaking travel news. Travel Talk with Phil Blizzard, talking to industry experts and decision makers.
The Arabian Hotel Investment Conference 2015, the theme this year is hotel development for the future traveller. So we're going to look at that in the aspect of spa and wellness development. And Susan, thanks very much for joining us.
Pleasure.
Well, let's start off, first of all, let's set the scene. I mean, you have a strong heritage in spa development. How many have you introduced over your career?
Well, ESPA has 500 spas globally in 60 countries. A lot of those we've designed and developed and manage, or have managed and still are involved with. We manufacture our product in the UK. We have a postgraduate school for therapists. So we really are one of the original spa companies that do everything from concept right the way through.
So what do you think has been the greatest change in those years in the way spas have evolved?
Well, they've become much more mainstream. They're much more available to a much wider audience. When I started in the industry 45 years ago, they were much more about health, and they were really only available to the wealthy. Obviously, they're still to a degree an indulgence, although I would argue that there's a great need for them from a health perspective as well. Stress is still the main reason globally that people go to spas. However, the fun part of it is increasing again. So people socializing in spas, especially women. In our spas, we have about a 60% female to 40% male ratio, which is quite high. However, the day spa market, which is very buoyant, i.e. locals going to hotel spas, that's predominantly female. And we're seeing people who are time poor, buying spa treatments for their friends, for their family, meeting them there and making it a whole occasion.
Yeah. If we look at wellness, how would you sort of define that in the spa environment?
I'm a bit worried about wellness, and I'm actually talking about it here because people are using the term wellness in a very loose way, and one could argue that it's just the new word for spa. And I think it's, if we're not careful, we're going to have consumer confusion, because just because a spa has a nutritionist doesn't make them wellness. To my mind, wellness is about prevention. What you'll find is with luxury hotels, it's very difficult for them to do medical. The two philosophies don't really marry, and insurances are difficult. So people are looking much more at what I would call light wellness, so more things like acupuncture, nutrition, osteopathy, medical massage, sports massage, personal training, things like that.
So from your perspective at Spa, what are you doing to sort of make things clearer for the consumer?
We're working with our clients to make sure that the marketing says what it does. We've had an era where treatment menus, marketing's been very hyped. Okay. And very fancy names on treatment menus, not necessarily delivering what they say. So I think the consumer now is much more, and the traveller is much more educated. They know what they want. They want much more results-driven treatments than they maybe did historically. And so in our marketing, we make it very clear. I think with wellness, you can't do quick results. You need time, because it's about your health. We've just had an era where the body has been really important, and I think we're going into an era where the mind is going to be really important, because all the data coming through is the power of the mind has such an effect on your health and your well-being. So we're doing more mindfulness, much more yoga, meditation, relaxation techniques, all sorts of things like that. But as to answer your question, the marketing really, the verbiage, saying what you do and making sure that it is what you do, because the people who go to destination spas for a week or 10 days to make changes in their lives are very different to those who go to a resort and use the spa as part of their whole holiday.
Yeah, just getting that spa experience, I suppose. Okay, looking at where we are now, Dubai, the Middle East, what is the presence of spa here?
ESPA.
Yeah.
We're really very strong here in this region. So we have spas here in Dubai. We have the Yas and the Ritz-Carlton in Abu Dhabi. We've just opened the first 5-star lady spa in Saudi at the Al Faisaliya. We're just about to open Morgan's in Doha, which we've designed as well. And we've got lots under construction. I think one of the reasons we do well in this part of the world is, number one, we really understand the culture. I've been privileged enough to do a lot of forums with a lot of the royal ladies and the sheikhs in all those countries. And I think we're very aware of their needs and the segregations and the traditions. Yes, exactly.